Hi everyone, I'm here today with Kasey Arena, which I met at the Health and Fitness Bloggers Conference in Denver, Colorado, and she's got an amazing blog called Powercakes.net. And she's going to explain to us today a little bit about it and how she started and how she keeps fit and her diet and things like that.
Hi everyone, my name is Kasey Arena. I have like she said, I've got a website called Powercakes.net. Basically, my story is all about fusing fitness and clean eating, fusing it, both together and fueling your fitness. I think that's a really important thing that I've learned. I've come from a background of growing up with food allergies, and for years they were undiagnosed. We weren't sure, why I felt certain ways. I had a lot of stomach issues, things like that. Also skin issues. So basically, it was a journey to find what was causing these problems. So clean eating really turned my life around. And
that motivated you to...
Absolutely. Clean eating changed the way I looked at food as it being the cause of my problems instead of, taking medicine to get rid of the problem. I kind of
the natural way.
Absolutely. I'm all about the natural way of doing a lot of things when it comes to that. So basically, I worked the clean eating into my fitness routine, and I started realizing that, I competed in a few fitness competitions. I go against the cookie cutter way of a diet. I call it a lifestyle. I really don't like the word diet. I think everyone's different and it works for your own body, and I found that. So I use my power cakes and different recipes that were very creative. I love to cook and bake and things.
And how did power cakes come about? Like, a lot of people might question, what is a power cake? Like, I've never heard of it before.
Right. Basically, a power cake is a protein pancake, which a lot of people are very, they know what those are. Mine is different.
Breakfast.
Absolutely. And then mine are different in a way that it's a story from my personal life, because when I was younger, I was not a good eater. My mom is a personal trainer, and she really tried to incorporate healthy living into our life, and I didn't really understand why that was important. I was very rebellious when it came to clean eating, so she would sneak protein powder into our pancakes on Sunday mornings before my soccer games. I was a big soccer player.
And you never realized?
No, she would you never know that it was hidden.
It's hidden.
And that's the beauty about power cakes is you can hide things in them, like spinach.
It's a great idea to do that for kids if they're not getting their nutrition.
Absolutely. I do a lot of healthy eating talks with parents and with kids, show them how fun food can be and colorful and things. And I always tell the parents, my mom, knew what she was doing when it came to that. She, in a nice way, hid the protein powder into these pancakes in different, fruits, vegetables. You can puree things, you can add them in, and it really became, we called them power cakes my whole life. I've never really called pancakes. Power cakes was the name. So when it came to my fitness competitions, I was eating the power cakes as some of my meals, because
gave you energy.
Power you through your day was my motto with that. And they're made from, whole grain oats, or sometimes I use coconut flour, different kind of a base with egg whites, protein powder. I hide a lot of things in them, and I was able to use those in my lifestyle, and people that I was doing competitions with were always asking me what they were. And I was like, oh, they're power cakes, because I'm so used to saying that word.
Right, you have to teach the community now what they are.
Absolutely. So that's why I started blogging, to really spread the word that, this recipe is more than just the name, it's my story. So it's been a really awesome experience with being able to spread that to everybody else.
Oh, that's great, that's great. And what is your fitness routine? Like, how do you stay so fit?
I've toyed with a lot of different routines, because I think there are so many out there. I think finding what works for you is what you enjoy doing, because, we were talking earlier that yoga is obviously her thing, and that's something that I'd love to get more involved in, because I think that sometimes, I neglect that side of fitness. So for me, just working with weights has become a really big part of
The strength training. Whereas it is nice to kind of have both. You need a little bit of balance, like the strength and the flexibility.
I think it's super important to find that balance, and that is what I'm working on now, is finding the balance. But my fitness routine, basically, I do a lot of weights. I do challenge myself. I don't lift to the point of hurting myself. I lift heavy to challenge my muscles. I do different routines. I like to focus more. I was on the kick of focusing more on one body part a day, kind of isolating the biceps, on Monday maybe, and then Tuesday doing triceps, or
Wednesday the abs.
Absolutely. I kind of got into that for a while, but I think it's really important to switch things up and to keep your body guessing, because your body does get used to it. So lately I've been grouping more muscle groups together. So I'll do back and biceps one day, chest and triceps one day, legs on a separate day. So I like to do that, and right now I'm on this 3 days on, 1 day of rest kind of a thing, to get my body, rest is so important to recover your muscles.
To heal the muscles.
And that's your side of it all, to heal and to really, promote the muscle growth. You've got to let it rest a little bit, So I do focus on that, and I do all different forms of cardio. I'm not running on the treadmill for hours a day.
How often do you do cardio? Is it a daily thing?
Yeah, that's a great question, because people think that it has to be constant cardio. And
do you run every day, or?
I'm actually not. I'm not a big runner. Okay. No offense to runners. One of my best friends run marathons. I think that's amazing. I have enjoyed, again, finding what you like. Mm-hmm. I enjoy doing different types of interval training, like sprints, burpees, or mountain climbers, jump roping. I like having fun with my cardio, and kind of doing other things as well. And then I also, I have nothing against a 5-mile walk around the local lake by my house with my mom as being my cardio for the day. So I do high intensity, but I do low intensity, and I do try to do a nice balance of both throughout the week, because I think if you really pound the high intensity daily, your body's, it's not enough rest, it's not enough recovery for you pounding so much on it. So.
And you've been working out for years?
I've been athletic. I've done soccer since I was 8.
At what age did you start?
I started 8 years old when I did soccer, and that's where the whole Powercakes came into play, because I had games.
You started young.
I did. I was a dancer.
You've always been fit.
I've definitely been into fitness my whole life, but I think I just the past year have found the balance of the fitness and the food, and just finding balance in your own life to live a healthy, active life, I think, is what's more important. So I think that's definitely what I've come to be learning more about, is finding the balance of both. So I started at a young age with soccer, ran track in high school and a little bit in college, and just, the fitness competitions kind of came after that, when I was not on a organized team anymore. Wanted to do something that was competitive, and I like to compete in a good way. And I found a lot of great friends through that, and I don't want to go to the pro level or anything like that on that end of it, but I like to show that I can
have fun with it. Like, as long as you enjoy it, that's what's important.
And it's all about, for me, it was about being healthy and showing that I did it a healthy way, and I didn't hurt my body in the process, because I've gone that other way of listening to everybody but myself, and I wasn't healthy. And then I was like, this next year I'm going to do it the healthy way and prove through my blog, through my eats, through everything, that it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Your body will, you can't do it. You can't get where you want to be to attain in 12 weeks. So I definitely am all about more of doing it for a long term and just living a healthy life. So that's what I've found the balance of both. So.
And what is your diet? Like, what do you eat every day?
Well, I definitely preach and practice and preach a clean eating lifestyle. And
are you vegetarian?
I am not a vegetarian, and I'm not a vegan. The funny thing is, I've tried, for my purposes and for my blog readers too, I've tried different things to test out different things. But I think it's all about what you personally feel best at. And I tried cutting out meat, but I personally liked having the meat as an option for protein. I enjoyed that, especially with lifting weights and stuff.
Right, you have to feel what your body needs, like what it desires and needs for energy.
And a balance of it too, because I think you can overdo the meats and things, so I do try to, you know, balance it out with, you know, other forms of protein too, and not just solely meat. But I have to say that clean eating, what I mean by clean eating is whole unprocessed foods. You know, nothing that's
junk
artificial.
food, meaning.
No junk food.
You don't eat the junk food.
I don't, because
the cakes, candies,
all that stuff. I eat Powercakes, but in my form, I try. That's where my passion of cooking comes in, because I loved the taste of those foods, you know, but I wanted to find a healthier way to do it. So I created all my favorite recipes into clean recipes that I can eat on a daily basis and just enjoy, but not actually, a lot of those foods upset my stomach. A lot of fried foods, things like that. My digestive tract, all that does not enjoy those. So I created the alternative to it.
So what is like a day of your diet? Like for breakfast, would you have the Powercakes, and then like what do you usually eat for lunch and dinner?
I do
an example of
right. I try to eat, I would say 5 to 6 times a day. For me, that is where
every few hours.
Every few hours. That is how I personally feel better. You know, I'd done the whole, in college and stuff, when I was super busy, sometimes I'd go hours without eating and I'd feel horrible.
Starved.
No energy, like completely depletes you, and I learned to fuel that fire all day. And so for morning, I would either make a nice omelet with a bunch of veggies in it, you know, with an egg white and 1 whole egg to get those, you know, minerals and vitamins in, and some fruit or some type of oatmeal, you know, things like that. My next meal is usually, I love smoothies. I love putting frozen spinach in smoothies, hiding flax in smoothies, different nutrients.
Fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables. That's the greatest thing about the smoothies, you know, and a nice high quality protein powder.
Do you drink that daily?
The protein? I do.
Smoothie, or you try to?
I try to make a green smoothie daily. I think they're really important. And then after the gym, I do a protein shake that's usually some type of fruit or some type of glucose, sugar, a nice natural sugar to help the protein get to my muscles quicker, since I usually lift weights. And then I do some type of leafy lunch. I like salads. I love proteins and a homemade dressing out of olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Like everything is just clean and natural. I'm so about that. It just makes me feel so much better. And then for dinner, the same thing. You know, yams. I love frying yams with coconut oil. That's one of my favorite things to do. Make little yam chips, or again, a protein source. Salmon. I love fish. I love chicken. Any kind of thing like that, or grass-fed beef. I do the natural meats, organic meats, all natural, no hormones added meats. And then I have a little late night snack. I'm not opposed to late night snacks. I think that's a myth that you can't eat after 7 o'clock or whatever, because I get hungry, you know, right before bed.
Especially after working out a lot. Like the more you work out, it stimulates your appetite.
My body is hungry all the time. All the time. And people are amazed at probably the amount of food I can eat, but I'm not afraid to eat either. If it's clean, unprocessed foods, I really don't fear the food.
Yeah, as long as it's nutrition, like nutritious-based foods, then it's fine to eat as much as you can.
I'm all about fueling the fitness, because if you're working out really hard, I think it's really great to fuel your body, and your body will respond better that way. So I'm not opposed. I don't have any dairy issues or allergies, so I will have some Greek yogurt maybe at night, or cottage cheese. They're a little bit of a slower digesting protein that kind of sticks with you throughout the night. I don't usually eat a big meal before I go to bed, but I'm not opposed to a small snack like cottage cheese, or with some nut butter on it, or I make a little healthy chocolate sauce, I call it. It's just cocoa powder, a little bit of stevia, and some water, and I mix it up and I drizzle that on things, and that's your sweet fix. But it's
and cocoa's really healthy now. A lot of antioxidants.
People don't realize that.
Yeah.
You know, they assume chocolate's bad for you, but the cocoa powder, I can't get enough of it.
I think it's bad when it's mixed with all the other junk to make the chocolate bar, like all the sugars and syrups and caramels, but the actual cocoa is amazing.
It's so good for you, and it really is. So I really try to embrace those ingredients to my readers too, because I think that there's a lot of myths in the fitness and clean eating world, and I try to break those a lot to show that I'm proof that, it's okay to eat these things, and they really do help your body, so.
That's great. And what would you recommend as a motivation for people, like as an inspiration for them if they're struggling with their fitness and exercise or their eating habits?
I would say to try to educate yourself on.
Learn as much as possible.
Right,
to understand everything.
Absolutely, without falling into the traps of.
Because there's a lot of information out there, and a lot of it is just...
Even at the conference, it's like you hear a lot of information, and a lot of it in this world can conflict with each other. So I think people in the fitness world are constantly overwhelmed, and I know I can be too, with things, different studies or research. But I think being true to how you truly feel your own body is so important.
Because everyone's different, so everyone needs, different things.
I would say that don't get frustrated if something doesn't work for you, because like I said, I've done things, I've gone through and I've seen things the unhealthy way when I was uneducated, when I didn't understand and I was listening to other people. But then I started to listen to my body and give it what it needs, what I was feeling. I tried different things out. And your body will speak to you. I don't mean to sound like, but it really, I would know if something didn't agree with my stomach the second I ate it, or I would know if I could handle it. And I think that being true to who you are, it's just a lifestyle. It's living the lifestyle that you can stick to, I think is super important. It's living your own life, not somebody else's because it worked for them, because not everything works the same for everybody else.
That's true.
It's very important.
And what are your goals with your blog, like for the future? How do you see it evolving?
I'm very excited about what I see my blog evolving to. I've only been doing this now since the fall, so only about 7 months I think now. I'm amazed at my story. It's easy for me to blog because it's my life. It's very easy to blog about what you do every day because it's my story, it's my life, and the recipes are what I eat, and it's
kind of like a reality show, but online. That's what
I love that analogy. I think it's so true.
You actually get to know the person on a deeper level, what they do. You kind of follow their life.
And I think that it's cool to have people connect with my story because it's easy to talk about yourself, and that's what I blog about, and
you have lots of pictures.
I'm a picture girl. I love Instagram. Visual. I'm very a visual person, and I like to see things, and I like to, I'm all about that. I'm not a very wordy blogger. I'm not really I don't go into big science studies or anything. I just try to focus on what I'm doing. And
you do lots of recipes too?
I am a nerd in the kitchen. I love to cook.
A lot.
I love to cook.
You're all around food.
I love cooking, baking. I love all of that. And where I see my blog going, I've got some products that will be, hopefully coming out here soon. And I really want to, I think that turning in the Power Cake to what I really see it being, and being able to be, out there for the consumers and things, I think is really important to spread the word, because it's not just a product, it's my story that I'm getting out there too, and I think that's what I'm more excited about.
It's what you love, so it really projects in that way.
Yes, I can talk all day.
For sure. So maybe tell everybody your website and how everybody could reach you and follow you.
Basically, if you type in Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. I love Instagram. That is where I post my pictures all day long.
That's your main thing that you use.
That would say, I think, is my main thing.
Twitter?
Well, you know what? Twitter, for sure. But Instagram, again, I'm a visual person. Right. So those pictures go up, and I love to post workouts and just food. And I love to post those pictures. Basically, if you type in all of those /Powercakes, Powercakes, you will find me. And then my YouTube channel is under my initials, so it's a little bit different, but it's KEA9578, and that's where I put all my workouts, and I put them on my website as well on Powercakes.net.
So we'll put all those in the description below, so you can link to those. And her website is Powercakes.net.
.net.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. You can also visit my website, LexiYoga.com, for more information on the healing powers of yoga and much more.